Sorry guys, just adjusting my camera a little bit. Just gonna mess around for a while. Oh, hello to everybody, by the way. I hope you're all okay. I hope life is being good to you, let's say. I'm gonna move this a little bit closer. Sorry guys, I'm messing around with this a bit today. So my name is Brad. This is the Let's Get Inspired live vlog. This is episode 23. Today's date is the 12th of August, 2025. It is 8 p.m. in the evening in England. And this is a live vlog, of course. Today, I'm going to be talking, the title is The Real Origin of Alpha, Beta, and the Types No One Talks About. So that's what I'm going to be discussing today. I'll just set up and everything, and then I'll start talking in a minute. Just give me a moment, please. It's a really sunny day today. I bet you a lot of people are outside enjoying the sun. Maybe people are getting drunk. It's a children's holidays as well, so I bet you a lot of people will be outside right now. They won't be watching this. Let's be real. But we're going to go with it anyway. I'm just going to switch on. One moment. I'm just going to make sure my comments are working. Or not working, should I say. And then I'll crack on with the video, guys. Obviously, this is delivered in a freestyling manner. I'll answer to the comments the best I can. I hope this is a safe space for people to open up and talk about the problems or what's going well for them, what's going bad for them. It's a healthy, positive space to speak. Basically, this is what this is about. Inspirational Ambivert channel. No room for negativity, etc. Of course. I'm just one moment, guys, and I will start speaking soon. Don't worry. I'm just one more. I'll just turn the volume off that. Hi, Yorick. Good to have you with us. How are you? Are you okay? You're first. Yeah, you are first. It might be a quiet one, this one, Yorick, I'm assuming. I think everyone... Should we wait for Sander? Hopefully, if she turns up, that'd be nice. You're good. Good to have you with us, by the way. I hope you're all right. Is it sunny down in London, by the way? It's really hot up here. Well, hot for England, should I say. Yars football, Baldy. Yes, Yars football. Good to have you with us. Yes, I am bald, mate. Obviously. Can you give me a shout out? Shout out to Richard Britton. Hello, Richard. How are you doing? It's 32 in London. Wow, yeah, it's hot up here as well. I don't think England's used to it either. We're not used to the heat. We're not used to that heat, basically. I bet you a lot of people are enjoying beer gardens right now, living the best lives. But no, not for me today, anyway. You thought I had a mohawk, yeah? Well, no, I'm a Rastafarian. Yes, football, obviously. I've got loads of her, as you can see. King of Gaming saying I'm gay. All right, okay, good for you. Each their own. King of Gaming. You went out to get a chow mein. Oh, Chinese, lovely. I love chow mein, chicken chow mein. Really nice meal. If you get it from the right place, though, of course. If the quality of the food's good, obviously. Okay, I'm going to begin. So what I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to be referring to my notes as well. Obviously, I'm going to be speaking in a freestyle manner, the best I can. I'm talking about alpha, beta, delta, omega, and sigma. It's that alpha, beta kind of logic. What else am I going to say? Sorry, one moment. So, basically, where does it come from? Yorick said, thanks for joining my live last night. No worries. I just randomly clicked on it. It was really late. Sorry, I was really tired. The music was chill, nice and chilled. I fell asleep just after watching it, basically, yeah. Right, sorry, I'm going to crack on. So, the alpha beta thing, it comes from, I don't know if you all know this or not, if is anyone aware of what alpha, what beta is, what omega is, what sigma is. They like personality traits of males, but it can be females as well. But this all came from a wolf study. And it's a guy called David Mech, or Meaches, I forgot his name. It's 1960s, this. It came from the 1960s. And basically, he monitored and Daisy Onu, I subscribed. Thank you for subscribing, Daisy. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. So, thank you very much. Can you say hi to my rabbit? His name is Einstein. He's hearing also. Hello, Einstein. I hope you're eating well and living your best life. So this alpha beta thing, it comes from basically 1960 studies. And the guy who began this alpha beta thing, it was based on research of captive wolves, basically. And then he got the alpha beta thing from that. Alpha being the leader, the dominant one, the confident one. Beta being the cooperative one, the friendly one, the one that resolves arguments, the beta I'm on about. And that was his research. That was his theory based on captive wolves. However, in 1999, he himself, he debunked the whole thing. He debunked it. He said, it's not even a good research. It's not even true. He said that he said they were a captive, basically. The environment wasn't good for them. And sorry, I'm not going to get the words out very well today, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, he debunked it, basically. But the internet has kept it. The internet has kept it going. So he's debunked it, saying it's invalid. This alpha beta thing's a lot of shit, and it's based on wolves. And then what happened was, in 1999, the internet, let's say, took it all on, and they applied it to humans. So they've applied this alpha, beta, omega kind of logic onto humans, basically. So I think there's some truth in this, and I'm going to discuss that the best I can. I'm going to go through all the personality traits. Let me know which ones you think you align with. Let me know if you think it's if the personality traits are true and you believe in it, or if you don't believe in it. Swim was the sheet says, no offense, but your eyebrows are unique. All right, thanks. No offense taken, by the way. No one's ever told me that before. But my eyebrows are unique. No worries. That's a different opinion. No offense taken, by the way. Good of you to join us. So, we're going to crack on, basically. So now I'm going to talk about alpha males and what their personality traits are. And I'm just going to type in. I'm going to ask a question. Are you an alpha male? And as I talk about the personality traits, one moment. Doing my best, guys. It's all good. Are you an alpha male? So, alpha males, usually, let's look at the traits. So they tend to be the leader, don't they? Naturally, they could be the leader. Yeah, they are. Good point. So swim was a sheep. The very act of calling yourself an alpha male is beta as fuck. Good point. Good point. Luke Green saying I'm a paranoid schizophrenic. Hello, Luke. Good of you to have you with us. I hope that you're okay, mate. I hope if I can help you in any way, I will. I'll do my best. I'm not perfect myself either. I hope that you're okay, Luke. Do you know what? Swim was the sheet. You've made a very good point. You've jumping the gun with that in a way from what I've got here, by the way. But you're very good. You're very right. Saying that you're alpha, I've got a story linked to that. I used to work with this guy and he was a big guy, whatever. And he used to tell everyone that he was alpha all the time. He'd go on about, I'm alpha male, me, and he'd be giving it Billy Big Bollocks all the time. And he was a bit, let's be honest, he's an arrogant prick. And he came across as an arrogant prick, but he always had to tell everyone that he was alpha, that he was a leader or whatever. And yes, do you know what I thought? And a true alpha wouldn't do that. A true alpha wouldn't do that. Yorick saying, I say maybe not. I like to avoid arguments and fights rather than sort it peacefully. You'd rather sort things peacefully. I would as well. I try to avoid arguments too. I try to keep the peace if I can. I prefer that. I prefer the harmony personally. I think sometimes though you've got to stand your ground or whatever, but I'm naturally like that, Yorick, as well. That could be deemed to be a beta trait maybe. And what another one is, what's better, alpha, beta, omega? I'm going to go through all these, by the way, as we go on. I don't think one's better than the other. I think everyone's different, but I'll go into that in more detail later on. Luke Green saying, oh, good, mate. Not perfect. No one is. Thanks for speaking to me. No worries, Luke. You're welcome on here. Absolutely welcome on here. Sorry, I really can't pronounce this next name. I can't, really sorry, mate. I can't, forgive my shitty language skills. I'm going to call you Oz because I'm terrible. Oz has said, is this just tarot for men? Maybe. Is it horoscopes for men? Maybe. You could have a good point there. Is it a bit vague? I'm going to get into that later anyway. So I'm going to go about the alpha just to start with. And you're saying he doesn't think it might be a rhyme. It's not a language, it's just muddled letters. Ah, right, sorry, I was overthinking. I'm thinking, is that like, I think is that Finnish or something? Because Finnish have different language. Yeah, it's completely random letters, right? Swim was a sheep saying that's an interesting idea. Luke Green saying, I'm not an alpha, but I'm a good dad to my daughter. Do you know what? Fair play to you. A lot of people don't achieve that. Fair play to you, Luke. That's great. You know, I'm going to get into it later anyway about, I don't think each one's better than the other, personally. But I'll explain that later. Anyway, I'm going to crack on. So, alphas tend to be confident, self-assurance. I'm referring to my notes, of course. They possess a strong belief in themselves and their abilities, which often inspires confidence in others. So they lead by example. They've got confidence. This is probably a healthy alpha, let's say. So they've got the leadership, they've got the assertiveness naturally. They naturally command attention and influence in social situations. They tend to be physically fit. Plus, they look after themselves, basically. They're ambitious and they desire to improve. Ambitious and desire to improve. Could that be in other traits as well, though? Physically fit. Only alphas physically fit. I am what's it called? I'm struggling to get the words out, guys. I'm also critiquing all of this shit as well, by the way. I'm agreeing with some of it, but I'm critiquing it at the same time. So they're ambitious, they're driven to achieve, they've got high standards, they always want to improve themselves and the world around them. They tend to be self-aware and understand their strengths and weaknesses and use them to their own advantage. So that's the alpha. I think you can have healthy versions and unhealthy versions of these as well. So I'm going to move on, guys. Going back to Luke's comment as well, fair play to you, Luke. Being a good dad, that's success. That is massive success. Just being a good dad. We need more people like that, by the way, in society. We need more people like that. Because sometimes it's children having children, isn't it? People that are underdeveloped and childish having children and not bringing them up properly, not being a good parent, mum or dad, whichever. You've got a very lucky daughter, by the way. Not everyone gets the privilege of these things. Having a good dad or mum or dad, whatever. Swim was the sheep said, I'd rather imagine a true alpha would sacrifice himself for the benefit of those around him. Do you know what? You've nailed it. You look after I'm paraphrasing this, I forgot who it says it. You look after the person to the left and you look after the person to your right. A true leader will stand in front, they'll weather the storm, they'll protect the people, they'll look after them. I think that's a true alpha, absolutely. That's a healthy, true alpha. A negative alpha could be someone who just wants to boss everyone around and they just want to control them and manipulate them, but they're just selfish as fuck. That would be like a false alpha, in my opinion. I agree with you, by the way, Swim was a sheep. Yorick saying, the show Last of Us, we're talking about, I can imagine Joel being an alpha male. He looks after the girl and leads away. Absolutely, Joel is. Yep. Absolutely. It's looking after people around you. That's the true alpha. Yeah, absolutely. The Crimson Phoenix says hi. Hello, the Crimson Phoenix. Nice to have you with us. My name's Brad, by the way. I'm 42 years old. I'm from northwest England, basically. I'm near Manchester. And this is the Inspirational Ambivert channel. This is a live vlog. And I'm just talking about alpha, beta, delta, that kind of thing. I usually talk about self-improvement, psychology, things like that. And the list goes on. So I'm going to move on. I'm going to ask another question. One moment, guys. I'm a bit slow with this. I've been at work all day. I've had a tough fucking day, man. I'm not going to complain on here, though. Life's sometimes difficult, isn't it? First world problems, though. Let's be honest, from my side. Are you a beta male? And I bet you a lot of people think, oh, beta male's really bad. Beta male's terrible. Not always, in my opinion, and I'll go through that now. People think, oh, beta male sounds bad. And also another question, could you be a mixture of all of these? It depends on the situation. Depends where you're at in life. You could be new to a job, you don't know fuck all, you don't know anything, and then you're just going to play a supporting role, aren't you? You're not going to lead because you don't know everything. So you need to be guided in that situation. Anyway, so beta. These people tend to be friendly and approachable, easy to get along with. That's a good trait. I could see myself as that, if I'm honest. Loyal and supportive. They are known for their strong commitment to relationships and their willingness to help others. And again, we could go back. That could be alpha as well. But that's what's under beta, under this logic. Wonderboy50 saying, what does beta male even mean? Well, I'll quickly go through. I'm just discussing that now. Basically, they have a hierarchy, don't they? This is basically based on originated from studies in the 1960s. It was research done of a wolf pack in captivity. And basically what happened was he determined the alphas, the leaders, and the followers, the betas, let's just say, keep it simple. But then in 1999, the guy that did the research, he debunked it. He said it's a load of, he said it wasn't true. He said it wasn't true because of the fact that the wolves were captive and the environment was not good for the research, really. And then what happened is he debunked it, long story short, and then they applied this to humans. The internet took on these alpha beta things and has done videos on it, etc. And then they've applied that to humans, even though the original research was debunked, believe it or not. So Wonderboy50 saying, so males with less testosterone, potentially. Maybe you could have a point. If you've got more testosterone, yeah, it could fuel your assertiveness with your hormones. Maybe. Pomegranate juice increases testosterone. Yeah, it does. Good point there, Yorick. Anyway, I'm going to carry on with what the betas are, what the traits are under this kind of umbrella, let's say, under this hierarchy. So they are known for their strong commitment to relationships and their willingness to help others. They're collaborative. I'm referring to my notes, of course. They prefer working with others and value teamwork over individual achievement. They're reserved and calm. Beta males tend to be more laid back and avoid drawing attention to themselves, so they don't want to take the spotlight. They're emphatic and attuned to others. Sorry, I'm reading a bit here, but here we go. They are good at understanding and responding to the emotions of those around them. They tend to be good listeners, and they are often more attentive to what others have to say. I'll keep going, guys. Sorry. They're reliable and thoughtful. They tend to remember important dates and details. They show that they care. They sound like nice people, in my opinion. Have I been a beta in my life? Yes, I have. Have I had some of the alpha traits? I'm just talking about myself here, sorry, but I've got to because I'm on my own in this room. Alpha, I have some of those traits. I look after myself physically, etc. I have self-awareness. That could be deemed to be alpha. I'm always thinking about growing and getting better and getting stronger in every way I can. That could be deemed alpha. But I also have beta traits as well. If I'm honest, I'm reliable. I'm thoughtful. I like to think I like to think I'm a good listener, and I try to avoid conflicts if I can. If I try to avoid conflicts if I can. So could I be deemed to be beta? I could be. Is that a bad thing? Is the question. Is that such a bad thing? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Do you agree or disagree? You tell me. The downside to the beta, though, there's going to be downsides, of course. But they can be, one more positive. They're good at de-escalating arguments. They want to keep the peace, so they're going to avoid arguments. And sometimes that's... Jaden's life. Boiled eggs talk. You learn something new every day. Hello, Jaden's life. How are you? My name's Brad. Yes, boiled egg. I'm all right. So you're saying my boiled egg. Thanks, man. I have got a bald head, though, and it does have an egg-like shape. Let's be honest. It's all good, though. How are you doing, Jaden's life? How's life? How is Jaden's life going, is the question. Anyway, I'm going to crack on. The negatives that the beta male can experience is lack of confidence. So you have self-doubt, seeking external validation. Does everyone feel self-doubt, though, sometimes? Does everyone want self-validation sometimes? I think we do as humans. Correct me if I'm wrong. They may avoid confrontation. And this can be seen as weakness, can't it? Because you're avoiding confrontation. I think sometimes, though, you need to. I know you're joking, Jaden's life. I know, mate. I know. It's all right. It's okay. I get it. I get the joke. You're good. Good to have you with us, by the way. I hope you're okay. I know you're joking, and I don't take offense to that, by the way, at all. I really don't. Water off a duck's back with me, mate. Most of the time. Water off a duck's back. I've got broad shoulders. I'm good. I hope that I'm glad that you're all right, though. I'm glad you're doing well. So they can avoid confrontation. And it can be seen to be a weakness because you're not standing up for yourself or others. Sometimes you should avoid confrontation if you can, because it can end up in a bad result. An argument with someone on the street, you don't know what they're capable of. They might stab you. They might you might beat them up. You might go to jail. If you can avoid confrontation, a lot of the time that's the best thing to do. However, sometimes you can't. Sometimes you've got to stick up for yourself. Sometimes you've got to stick up for your partner. You've got to stick up for your friend. You've got to stand there. You've got to draw a line sometimes. But if you're too beta with regards to this, what I'm talking about, that can be bad. And being overly agreeable. So putting people's needs in front of your own all the time, you can end up like a doormat. That's what can happen to betas potentially. And that could be, then you could be deemed to be, let's have a look, another comment, sorry. Anya Ratnala, you look like Hyun Jin from Stray Kids. I don't know what Hyun Jin is, sorry. One moment, I'm going to write it down, Anya. Nice to have you with us, by the way. Sorry, Jane's life. What I'm talking about is do you know that the hierarchy, the male hierarchy, or a person hierarchy, let's say, alpha, beta, omega, sigma. I'm talking about that. I've talked about the history of it. I'm just going through alpha, beta, omega. I'm on the second bit now. I'm going through it all, and then I'm going to say I'm trying to think: is it correct or is it incorrect? And getting people's opinions on it. Do they believe in this male hierarchy and the characteristics that are linked to each personality trait, or do they think it's a lot of rubbish, or do they agree with some of it and not all of it? And where do you put yourself in this hierarchy? But anyway, going back to Anya, I don't know who Hyun Jin is. Sorry, from Stray Kids. I've never seen Stray Kids. I don't know what that is. It might be my age there, Anya. I'll look into it though. Hyun Jin. I don't know who that is. I need to write that down. Sim was a sheet said, you've got a good attitude, mate. Oh, thank you. I try to. Most people, myself included, can learn from you. Oh, that's great. Hopefully they can. I'm still learning myself as well, though, by the way, Sim was a sheet. I'm still learning myself. I don't have all the answers myself, mate, if I'm completely honest. I'm just doing the best I can day to day. I'm all about trying to help people. I'm all about spreading positivity. I'm all about personal growth, that kind of thing. I'm all about being genuine. I'm all about being real, as imperfect as that's going to be. If I can help anyone along the way, that's amazing. But thank you, by the way. I appreciate that. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. So anyway, I'm going to crack on. But there's context with these traits. Anyway, sorry, I'm cracking on. Get rid of this one. I'm going to move on. I've covered the beta. I'm going to move on to the gamma. So the gamma male. Has anyone ever heard of the gamma male? I'll write it. Gamma male traits. I put person because I think this can be linked to males and men and women. Let's be real. I'm not just going to just go with the males. I think it could be both. Okay, start Q&A. There we go. Gamma person traits. I'm going to have a sip of water one moment. Gamma male traits, they tend to have high intelligence. They're quick learners. I'm referring to my notes, as I keep saying. And they're experts in their fields. So they tend to be very intelligent according to this. They tend to have a lot of empathy and kindness, and they're good listeners, for instance. So they care about others, they're kind to others, they're naturally like that. They have a sense of adventurousness. So they love traveling, they love exploring, they love different lifestyles. I like those type of things as well. I think that could fall under quite a few people. And empathy and kindness, I think if you're under any of these, alpha, beta, gamma, whatever, I think you could have a few of these. Don't forget to like, double tap and subscribe. Help show support. Thank you, Yorick. Thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you for everyone that's subscribed, by the way. It makes a big deal. I appreciate it massively. I just to reiterate, my name is Brad. This is the Inspirational Ambivert channel. This is a live vlog. Let's Get Inspired live vlog, episode 23, basically. I'm on here on average at the moment. I'm doing like 2 of these a week, maybe 3 of these a week. But check out my channel if you want to, if you want to see more content like this. Anyway, so gamma. So they're adventurous. They have a sense of adventurousness, let's say. They love to travel. They love to explore different lifestyles. Moving on, they have self-awareness. That was in alpha as well, wasn't it? If you remember me saying. They're aware of their own actions and how they affect others. Having self-awareness. How many people don't have self-awareness in society? It's quite a few. It's good to have self-awareness. It's good to be aware of yourself, aware of how you affect others. I wish there was more people like this in the world. There's quite a few, but a lot don't get it. They're just walking around asleep, basically. Gamma people, let's say, they enjoy close relationships. And they tend to be the life of the party, the life and soul of the party. The downsides to the gamma. They have a nice, I've never heard of this before, nice guy syndrome. They can be over-accommodating, people pleasers, and it leads them to frustration because they're not getting the same back. So they're being, I suppose that's like manipulative nice, isn't it? I'm only being nice because I want something out of you. I'm only being nice because I want something back, maybe kind of thinking, and they get a bit disappointed and frustrated when it doesn't come back to them. They have a fragile ego. So they avoid failure due to having a fragile ego, which can hinder social development. Trying to break that down. So it's avoiding failure, basically not putting yourself out there, not doing things, not taking opportunities, maybe. They have romantic struggles. This is the downside to the Gamma, by the way. They're in love with an idea kind of thing. So overly romantic, pie in the sky, love ideals, let's say, romanticizing, as they say. You can be in love with an idea, can't you? You can think, you can be attracted to someone that you don't know, and you just picture them in a certain way, but you don't really know them. And therefore, being in love with an idea, kind of, that's where that thought comes from my perspective, of course. Gamma people, let's say, they tend to have a lack of focus. So they're intelligent, but they struggle to fulfill the goals. They're really, really smart. They've got loads of potential. Have you ever met anyone like that? Do you know anyone like that? I've worked with some guy. He was so smart, honest to God. He just reeled off so much stuff. You spoke to him. He could go on and on and on, and he spoke amazingly. And once he had to do any work, he was fucking shit. He was terrible. He was rubbish. He got all flustered and weird. It's like the tasks that we were doing were really simple as well, and he couldn't do it. He just got anxious and over. He got all stuck up in his head and everything. Even though he was probably the smartest person in the room, he was so smart, but he didn't do much with it. I don't know why that was. There might be deeper reasons for that. But sometimes people could be really intelligent and they can be very what's it called? Good. Sorry, I'm struggling to say the words now. Some people are really smart. They've got it all. They're really smart. They're really hardworking. They're really effective. They're high performers. Some people have got it all. Some people don't. Anyway, I'll move on. So I'm just moving on. So Gamma is a mixture of intelligence, empathy, and desire for a fulfilling life, but they struggle with emotional management and social dynamics. I'm going to move on, guys, to Omega traits. So Glassy, nice to have you with us, by the way, Glassy. Nice if you should join us. My name's Brad, by the way. This is the Inspirational Ambivert channel. You seem quite smart, but don't have the social strength to put it into words. What do you mean by that, Glassy? Can you elaborate, please? I'm going to see what you have to say, Glassy. That's all. I don't. Like charisma, like being charismatic. Are you referring to Gamma males with that, by the way? Yorick saying, I sometimes feel like I am all three types depending on the mood. I think lots of men might be like that too. Do you know what, Yorick? I agree, definitely. I feel like I've got traits in all of these, but it depends on the situation, depends on how you're feeling. Yeah. I don't usually like to dominate rooms or anything like that. I'm just not that type of person. I never have been. That would be an alpha trait who'd do that naturally. It's not my thing, that, by the way. Nothing against anyone that does that, because that's the way they are. That might be the nature. But in some situations, the only situations I become dominant is if I'm in a work environment and I'm around people that don't know what they're doing. They haven't got a fucking clue. I go into bossy mode, because if I don't go into bossy mode, everything's going to fall apart. So therefore, I just dominate the room. But only in those situations will I be dominant. Any other situation, I wouldn't. I just don't like doing it. It doesn't make me feel good. I don't like bossing. I don't like people bossing me around either. I fucking hate people who boss me around. I don't like being told what to do. And I don't think, especially if it's coming from a manipulative place, I like to just lead my own life, do my own thing. And I don't also want, yeah, that's my thoughts on that. And I think I agree, Yorick. I think a lot of people would be like that too. Absolutely. So let's move on to Omega. We're getting through 2 more to go. I wanted to talk about this today because it was mentioned in a live very briefly about Sigma males, which I'll get into at last. Sigma males, Sigma people. And I just thought, let's talk about it. just a topic I'm going with for today. That's all. There we go. So omega traits, omega males or omega people. I think these are all Greek words, aren't they? Sigma, alpha. I think they originate from the Greek alphabet. Anyway, omega traits. They tend to be independent and self-reliant. I can resonate with that. They prefer introversion and solitude. Also, believe it or not, obviously I'm being very extroverted now, I'm talking a lot, but I love being on my own as well, introversion as well. They can have a strong sense of self. So what does that mean? It's like they have self-worth, they have good values, they're confident in who they are, they know who they are. They focus on personal growth. And they have a non-conformity kind of mindset. So they live how they want. I like that one. I love that one. I have that. I'm a non-conformist in my own way. Obviously, in society, I've got to conform to an extent, of course, but I don't always like following. I don't always like following things, especially if I don't believe in it completely, like COVID and the jabs and stuff like that, vaccines. I don't always follow that. I don't conform to that. And I don't also conform to what society expects me to do. So they expect you to have a wife, they have kids, blah, blah, blah. That's not for me either. Each their own, of course. There's nothing wrong with those things. I like to live my life how I want to live it. Non-conformist. Not going with the status quo. I think that's a great bloody trait. And that's an omega trait, according to this. I think a lot of people can have that trait, in my opinion. Glassy is saying, one moment. Yeah, join late. All right, sorry, Glassy, you joined late. No worries. Good of you to be with us, by the way. So John's been timed out. What's happened there, Yorick? Sorry, I can't see what was said. You're doing a great job, by the way, Yorick. Amazing. You're all over it. Thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't see what he had to say, though. It's okay, though. I'm sure it was probably... Glassy said, best not knowing. I don't mind. I personally don't mind. I like to deal with things myself. Ah, right. You're saying some religious propaganda. Oh, no. Yeah, okay. No bueno. Not for me, mate. See you later. Yeah, it can get silly, can't it? Each their own, whatever, live and let live and all that, but you shouldn't be putting your ideals onto other people. It's a bit stupid, isn't it, in my opinion? Anyway, so the omega traits, they have submissive tendencies, supposedly. So they can avoid conflict, prefer harmony. I'm like that sometimes. I'd rather, if I can avoid an argument, I'll avoid it. If I can. I'd rather not argue. But sometimes I will if I have to. And I prefer harmony and peace absolutely all day long. Life is fucking hard. We're all eating a shit sandwich, let's be honest. And if I can make life a little bit nicer and more harmonious, should I say, more peaceful, good. Why wouldn't you want those things? Another one, I'll keep going through these. They have empathy and sensitivity, so they're emotionally attuned to the wants and needs of others. Positive trait from the omega type of person. This one's a strange one that I've just wrote down. Is nesting. They like to make a nice space for themselves and loved ones. I'll move on. Potentially fear social potential for social isolation because they like being on their own so much. It can be addictive as well, like being on your own. I don't know if anyone else has experienced that. Like being in your own space, being on your own energy, it can be addictive. There's a positive to that, but too much can be bad, obviously. Depends which way you look at it, of course. And anyway, last one, resilience and strength. I'm going to move on, guys. I'm going to move on to Sigma. I think the Sigma one is interesting. And there's a lot of buzzwords around Sigma at the moment from what I've seen online. And I'll talk about Sigma in a moment, and then at least I've gone through them. Sigma, I put person. Sigma person traits. So Sigma males, or Sigma people, let's say, let's keep with that. Glassy saying, I'm glad to be here for that topic. Is it the Sigma topic that you're glad to be here for? I resonate with a lot of Sigma as well, if I'm honest, if I'm going down that line. However, I do think there's more to people. I do think there's more to people than just these things. These are like a bit vague sometimes, but I think there's more to people. So Sigma, they tend to be introverted and they're comfortable with solitude and they gain energy from it. Does anyone resonate with that? Glassy's saying, yeah, my partner says he's a Sigma. So he resonates with it. That's where he sees himself. Do I gain energy? I gain energy from solitude? Yes, I do. I think a lot of people do because that's introvert and extroverts. I refer to myself as an ambivert. She's a mixture of introvert and extrovert. I'm a bit of both, basically. Yorick's saying, I like solitude. Yeah, I get it. A lot of growth and peace can be found in solitude, away from the noise. The world is a very noisy place, isn't it, as well? It's good to get that peace and solitude in a world that can't stop talking. So finding that peace and solitude in a world that can't stop talking, it's good to be still sometimes. And you can recharge, can't you? Being out and about, it can be draining. I resonate with that. They like to live outside of social hierarchies. I think I've done that naturally all my life, man. So you'll have a social hierarchy, the boss or whatever, the leader in the group, and then I'll just dip into that little group and I'll do my thing and then I'll piss off. I won't be too connected to the group though. I'm doing my own thing and I don't like being controlled. I don't want to boss anyone else about either. I don't want to be in charge of other people, really. I don't like it, but I don't want them to be in charge of me either. It sounds like a contradiction. I mean, I just want to do my own thing, my own independent thing. So they don't want to fit in with those social hierarchies. And sometimes what can happen, in my opinion, this happens a lot, the alpha male, let's say the alpha male's around and they're really bossy and they like to be into control. So they want followers. Alpha males want followers. If they don't have followers, they're not going to feel comfortable. And then they meet a Sigma male and the Sigma male's he's not conforming. You can't control him or her. And they don't like it. It makes them feel uncomfortable. So they'll look at you as weird or they'll try and put you down a little bit because they see you as a threat. Even though you're not trying to be a threat, you're just being yourself. I find this a lot. And they also feel uncomfortable because they can't control you. You're not following. They don't like it. That's what can happen with alpha people, let's say, with regards to a Sigma. And Sigmas tend to be very self-reliant, don't they? They like their own time. They just do their own thing. Very independent, very strong on their own. They've got their own mission in life. They're doing their own thing. They don't need that external validation as much as others, let's say. So I'll move on. So they can be mysterious and quiet, calm, aren't they? They're not loud. They're not talking. They're not boasting. They're just being themselves. And they prefer deeper conversations, which I absolutely resonate with. I love deep. I don't mind small talk because it's part of life and that's fine. But too much, I don't enjoy it. I prefer deeper conversations. I prefer looking down the rabbit hole of things as well. I don't know about you guys. One moment, let's look at the. Yorick saying, I think many philosophers were probably Sigma, like Socrates. Yeah, I love Stoicism. But, I say it wrong. Stoicism. Yeah. There's a lot of wisdom in that as well. Stoicism, so much. A lot of that, it's been lost, hasn't it, in today's world? Stoicism. They knew a lot. They knew a lot of things then, even then, back then, thousands of years ago. Sigmund Freud as well. Is that the godfather of psychology, isn't it, I think? Anyway, So they can be mysterious and quiet, prefer deeper conversations, and they're selective in their relationships. They're selective with the people around them. That's actually smart. You don't want to have the wrong people around you because they can drag you down. You want to be around positive people that lift you up, of course. So that can be some of the Sigma traits. The downsides, though, I'm going to move on to the downsides. Glassy's got a good comment. One moment. I'm just using my laptop, by the way. The comments have come. They stopped working on my phone. I'm using my phone for this, obviously. And I'm using my laptop. That's why I'm looking to the side. Glassy's saying, it sounds like alphas feel their pride is threatened by Sigmas. It's quite ironic in a way. Yeah. Yeah, they feel threatened. They can't manipulate them. I think that's a great thing. I resonate with some of the other traits in the other alpha beta thing, though, and I think some of them are positive. I don't think any of these are better than anyone, in my opinion. Some people might think alphas are the best and the rest are shit. Like, no, I think there's positives from all of them. It depends if you're a healthy one or an unhealthy one as well. If you're going to put yourself in a box, that's the question, isn't it? Should you put yourself in a box? No, I think there's more to us than that. We're more complex than that. So I'll finish with this bit and then I'll move on. Sorry. So the downsides for Sigmas, they have everything's got to have a downside. Of course, it has. They're quite skeptical, cynical, and they have difficulty trusting others. They put walls up. They can be emotionally detached, so they're a bit cold potentially. They don't let anyone in most of the time. I suppose it's smart. They're just analysing threats. I suppose you've got to do that as well. If you're an independent person, if you're a Sigma, for example, you're self-reliant. You don't need a posse of people around you. You've just got you. You've got fucking no one else. That's going to make you very strong and very self-reliant, isn't it? However, you need to protect yourself, don't you? I suppose that kind of thinking is what I think about with regards to this, anyway. I'll move on. They have a resilience to conformity. They don't like conforming. That's me all the way. I don't like conforming to things, especially if I think it's bullshit. I don't like it. I like to have my own mind and my own opinion, and I don't like others to manipulate it. Don't like it. Don't like being bossed around either, like in a manipulative way. I don't mind helping someone who genuinely needs help. I'll help them all day long. But if someone's taking the piss and they're being bossy, for example, or manipulative, I see right through it. Anyway, sorry, I'm going off on a little tangent there. They have defensive reactions to criticism. So they don't take criticism well. It hurts the pride, it hurts the ego, I suppose. Could that be in anyone, really? Criticism can hurt, can't it, sometimes? And it's depending. Some criticism is really good for you, and other times it's just not. Depends on what you take on with that. And difficulty asking for help. Yep, I know that one very well. I just like to do my own. Yeah, I struggle asking for help myself. I don't know why I just do it. Maybe it's my ego. But anyway, I'm going to move on. So that's Sigma. I've gone through them all. Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Omega, and Sigma. I'll ask a question. One moment, please. Just typing away. If it'll allow me. Sigma. Right, this is the question, guys. Are you Alpha, Beta, Omega, Gamma, or Sigma? Which of these resonates with you right now in your life? Which one do you think you'd fall into? I'm going to have a little rest. Yorick saying Sigma. Yeah, I would be the same as that. Yeah, I'd agree more than the others. However, I do, in my own honest opinion, I do have traits of beta. I have traits from all of them. Quite a few from beta, but quite a sigma. A lot of, yeah. And also, do you even believe in all this? It's okay if you don't. Are you putting yourself in a box and that's it? It's just narrow. You've only got these traits. There's so much more to us. There's so much more to us. So complex humans, in my opinion. Sim was the sheet. None. I'm a human who struggles with human issues. You think it's basically, Sim, you're saying you don't believe in it all. It's horoscopes for men, tarot for men. I can see why you think that. We're so diverse as people. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. It's like star signs. Then there's Chinese astrology. Then there's numerology. Then there's the MBTI. Have you heard of MBTI before? Myers-Briggs personality test, isn't it? I think MBTI I'm referring to. And this is like a more basic version of it, in my opinion, compared to the others. Is there some? Can you get some positives from these things? Absolutely, like astrology and things like that. You can learn about yourself, about your traits. You can see yourself in those things as well. But I think there's much more to us. We all have personal choice on how we work on ourselves, and things are always changing. Our surroundings are changing. Our environment's changing. Our mood, like Yorick said, is changing. So some days you can take on the world. Other days you got to just curl up in a ball and get through the day. You know what I mean? Well, I do anyway. Glassy's saying Omega, I think. Interesting, Glassy, yeah? I think the main ones that people have heard of, in my opinion, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, is Alpha and Beta, isn't it? And then Sigma is quite new. The Sigma thing's quite new. It's not new, but it's quite new, isn't it? Glassy's saying, I'm very hit and miss with this kind of thing. The internet has blown the full beta and alpha thing out of proportion, and it's turned it cringe-worthy to be watched. Sorry, I'm gonna start again, Glassy, because I'm explaining that really shitly. I apologize. So you're saying, I'm very hit and miss with this kind of thing. The internet has blown the full beta and alpha thing out, and it's turned it cringy watching. Some guys try to prove how alpha they are by being rude. Go on, Glassy, home run there. Yeah, check me out. I'm Billy Big Bollocks. I'm going to fucking take control of this situation. I'm going to show him who's boss. I'm going to put that, you're that nice person there. I'm going to put him down just to show how dominant I am. That kind of fucking thing. It pisses me off, this, by the way. I'm giving examples. I'm not like this personally, but it really fucks me off. Arrogant, cocky, swaggering in, giving it Billy Big Bollocks. And what's arrogance is just false confidence, really. It's plastic confidence, in my opinion. And they're showing how alpha they are. Or they'll lift weights. You'll see them in the gym sometimes, looking in the mirror, showing off. There's nothing wrong with doing the weights, getting healthy. But then they'll smash the weights down like they're double-eyed, like they think they're really hard or whatever. They think they're tough guys. And I just see it as weakness, especially if you're rude to others. I think it pisses me off. Sorry, I'm going on, Mom. I can see right through it. It smells of weakness, doesn't it? It's not good. I respect people who are just good people, really. That's what I respect, decent people. Anyway, I'm going to move on, guys. I'm going to move on. Have any of you switched between... I'm going to take that away. Have any of you switched between these during your life? I have. I remember at some point in my 20s, I was probably more... At that time, I didn't really know myself, and I was a bit lost. I used to take drugs as well as an idiot, and I was probably a bit beta and a bit of a bad one. I was a bad one, and I wasn't happy, and I didn't like it, and I was being led by others, and it made me very unhappy, and it made me feel very uncomfortable. But I didn't realize it at the time because I was too young. I was underdeveloped as fuck, and I was probably deemed to be beta then. However, I came away from it all. I started working on myself and valued my independence, and found myself again. So I came away from those type of traits. But I don't think beta's all bad. You can say beta's bad and alpha's good. I think it just depends on what type of person you are. And like we've said before, like Sim was the sheet has said, he said there's much more to us, much more diverse than that. So I'm going to move on. Next one is myths versus reality. So myths versus reality. I'm referring to my notes again, of course. One moment. You're saying, what's the woman version of this Karen, etc.? What exactly is a Karen? I feel sorry for Karens. You know that? Imagine if you're a woman and you call Karen. I know a woman called Karen. She's a decent person, man. So Karens get a bad. Imagine if you called Karen. Good question, by the way, Yorick. A Karen is not all Karens are bad. It's just a fucking name. But they say a Karen is just like the type of person that's going to argue with you over nothing. They're going to see fault in everything. They're going to argue with you just for breathing. Basically, it's like I'm going to swear now. It's a very cunty woman, a very negative, argumentative victim type of mentality woman on steroids. That's what they say. Oh, that's a Karen. It's like quite a new term, isn't it? Not new, but a few years old. Glasses. One moment. So let's look what Glassy said. Glassy has said, I guess a Karen would be someone who thinks similar to an alpha, trying to demand and take control, believing they're right. Glassy just hit the nail on the head. Very well explained in a paragraph there. Yeah, they're trying to take control, aren't they? They're trying to manipulate it. They're trying to boss everything. Absolutely. And they think they're right. They're never fucking wrong. There's zero accountability. And they just want to manipulate the situation. They want to take control. Absolutely. That is a Karen. That would be like a negative alpha, wouldn't it? If you're going down those lines. But good question, by the way. Right, I'm going to move on. Myths versus reality. People aren't fixed in one category. I don't think they are. We're too complex. And traits can overlap. You can be confident like an alpha and independent like a sigma, can't you? And they said alpha, they look after themselves physically, like they exercise, how many people exercise and look after themselves or groom themselves well, like look after their own appearance as best they can. Lots of people do that. And the context, as like Yorick said, context changes your role. So it could be your relationships, your work life, your friendships, etc., etc. It's going to change, isn't it? Oh, sorry, Yorick, you've said something else. No, I meant like a female version of alpha, omega, beta, gamma, or does that apply to women too? I think in a lot online, it only refers to men. It does, but I think it does. I'm going off. I'm being a bit of a non-conformist here. I'm thinking it's people. I'm just going with that. But it refers to men a lot of the time with regards to the alpha beta thing. Female versions you're on about of these things, they might have different characteristics maybe. I can only speak as a man, obviously. And the female version of alpha, beta, omega, gamma, sigma, etc. I think the traits would overlap sometimes, but maybe there's some differences. That's a good question. But what I've been talking about mainly relates to men, I think it does. But I think a lot of these cross over, like I've just said. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but that's my perspective. And there's a danger, though, with these, because you could be using these to judge others or even yourself. Oh, that's beta that. Look at that guy. It's beta that. That person's weak. That person's shit or whatever. You could think that there's some are better than the other if you use it like that, basically. Right. I've got a question. One moment, guys. Let me just type it in. Let's try and word it the best I can. can only put so much in these boxes, by the way, hence it's being so short. Do you think these alpha beta labels help people? It's very vague, that, but I'll elaborate a little bit more. Do you think that these labels help people understand themselves, or do they just put people in boxes? Do you think the alpha beta thing's a good thing or a bad thing? Does it help us understand ourselves better as a tool or whatever, a bit of guidance? Or do you think it could be more detrimental? Do you think it's too vague? I think we've kind of covered it, but I'll just ask the question again anyway. I'll just have a little rest, guys, just for a moment. A bit of water. Glassy is saying boxes for sure. Everyone may relate and can use it to understand themselves better, but it should not define them. Instead, use it to grow from. Yeah. Like a little bit of a clearing the path in your life to understanding yourself a little bit more. But it shouldn't let you define you. You shouldn't think, I'm just this. This is me. I'm doing this because I'm an alpha. I'm doing this because I'm an omega, or whatever it is. But you can, yeah, that's very wise. Something that you can use to grow from. Absolutely. Absolutely. Has anyone checked out the MBTI before? Has anyone checked out the MBTI before? The Myers-Briggs. So my personal take on it is, let me think. Sorry, one sec. Just stretching, guys, man. Sorry. My personal take on it is that it's a good tool. I suppose it's interesting to an extent, but I think I've already said it. I think there's much more to us, and you're different depending on your environment. You're different depending on your mood. You're different depending on the situation. Sometimes you're going to take those leads. Sometimes you've got to lead in a situation. Sometimes even if you're leading, it could be you sat around loads of people, no one's talking. Usually, if there's an extrovert in a group, I'll go, fuck it. He can talk or she can talk. I'm going to sit down and let him go for it. I'll just sit there quietly, honestly, happily, thinking I don't have to do the work here. Happy days. However, if I'm in a situation where we're a group of people, there's 4 of us, 5 of us, 6 of us, doesn't matter, and no one's fucking talking, I think, shit, I better pick up the slack here. And I just fulfill the role. I think, all right, then, let's get everyone talking. Let's ask people questions. Let's talk. I fill the gaps in naturally. Glassy saying MBTI. Okay, Glassy, MBTI is Myers-Briggs, like a personality test thing. It's about introversion, extroversion. I'm explaining it really badly. However, anyway, just type in I think it's MBTI, personality, Myers-Briggs, MBTI, personality test, and go online. Maybe you'll end up down a rabbit hole like I did with this, and it'll give you your score, and then there's different. I think there's 16 different personality traits, and it'll put you under one, and it'll explain what your personality traits are, your strengths and your weaknesses. Kind of like a little bit like this, but this is more vague. MBTI is a lot more comprehensive than this. Is there a critique for MBTI? Absolutely there is. It's just like Chinese astrology, Chinese astrology, numerology. It falls into that kind of thing, but it can be interesting, and it can give you a perspective on what type of person you are and get to know yourself better potentially. Taken with a little bit of salt, of course. So yeah, if you want to look into it, look online, basically. So I'm not going to discuss that today. I've covered it a little bit, that's all, of course. And yeah, I think it's more about self-growth in it. Anyway, I think I'm done there, guys. I'm done talking about that. Yorick saying it's free and it's short. Yeah, it is. It's really, yeah, Glassy. Yorick is right with that. It's free. It doesn't cost any money. and it's just quick to fill in. And there's a lot of stuff on YouTube about it as well. Not myself that's done it, but a lot of. I think what do I fall under? INFJ. That's what I fall under. INFJ. I've done the test about 6-7 times as well. And it's always the same one. Again, one personality type's not better than the other. Everyone's different. Okay, I'm going to do a Q&A now. I'm just... One moment, guys. Sorry, guys, just one moment. I think, one moment, sorry. Oh, God, I'm going slow today. Yorik's asking, what is an IFJ? I think it's introverted, feeling, judgment. It's a personality type. It's under the Myers-Briggs personality test, and it's one of the personalities there, basically, INFJ. The people tend to be introspective, intuitive, etc. What did they say? I don't know. I'm going to have a little rest, guys. I'm going to chill for a minute, see if anyone's got any questions. Has anyone got any questions, anything they want to talk about? The floor is open to you guys now. Glassy is asking, what kind of things do you usually discuss on your channel? Glassy, I have talked about some of the videos that I've done. I've talked about how men can get, some men, not all men, some men can be terrible, don't get me wrong, but some men can get a bad ride. So how they can be, they're only masculinity, toxic masculinity, basically. I've talked about that, about how men have got it hard in life sometimes in some ways. Of course, women have as well in different ways. I talk about self-resilience, self-reflection, and being hard on yourself. Anything psychological, really, a variety of things, about things that people struggle with. I talk about what men's struggles are. I even talked about, I know it sounds dark, but men's suicide, why men commit suicide, how we can hopefully prevent men from committing suicide. I talk about those things as well. I used to have a friend that killed himself, basically. And I know quite a few people that have done it, and it's sad. Sorry, I don't go into too much detail on it because it makes me feel sad. However, I think sometimes the conversations are important, but I try to limit them because they can be quite heavy. And I just talk about how men have got it bad sometimes. You know what I mean? I think men have got it hard, especially in today's society. Yeah, I do. I'm not saying that woe is me, by the way, with that. What else do I just cover other things as well? I'm going with the flow with this. I've been doing for like I've been doing this for about 7 months now. But a lot of it's self-improvement based. It's all about personal development. It's all about growth. It's all about understanding emotional intelligence, that type of thing. That's what I'm covering. And it's just evolving into what it's going to evolve in. My intention is just to bloody help. Honest to God, my intention is to help people. My intention is to be... I see a lot of these channels on here, and there's no disrespect to any of them. A lot of them will be so much more successful than mine. Of course, that's fine. And some of the live content, and it's just, No disrespect to it. It's all different. So they all have the positives, but a lot of it, I like to say something meaningful. I like to say something that has some intelligence and thought behind it. That's what I'm about. I'm about personal growth, basically. A lot of my videos are about men as well and what the struggles. But I don't just cover those things. I don't want to be a one-trick pony with that. Glasses Yorik's asking Glassy if he would like to be joining us as a moderator. Cool. If you want to, that's fine. Have a sip of water. Glassy saying, I'm really sorry to hear that. I'm glad to hear this. I think men get overlooked so too much. Yeah, they do, especially now. I think they do. And you're only judged on how useful you are. And as soon as you're fucking not useful anymore, they don't want to know you. You're gone. Chuck you out. It can happen as well. Because it depends on what you're bringing to the table, doesn't it? Are you earning loads of money? What do you bring to the table? If you're not bringing anything to the table, then you can be chucked out, can't you? Discarded by society, by partner or whatever. Not always, but sometimes. And yeah, sorry, I didn't cover that, did I? I didn't say that, but you've just hit the nail on the head with this. Too many times I see men try and hide how they feel. Yes, sorry, I didn't say that, did I? Yes, I talk about how men hide the feelings. They bottle them up, hence the end result can be deadly, can't it? I'm not saying being overly emotional all the time, crying all the time, being an emotional wreck. Those type of people need a lot of help, of course, but I'm on about just having the emotional intelligence to filter the emotions out in a healthy, controlled manner, in a healthy environment type of thing. I think if you bottle things up too much, my friend did that. He bottled it up all his life. He honest to God, he seemed to land on his feet all the time. Honest to God, he seemed to land on his feet all the time. Nothing seemed to bother him. He was laughing. He was a joker. He was really funny. He'd light up the room, full of charisma. But underneath it all, underneath the smile, there was a lot of suffering. Yeah. So he held in. He didn't say how he felt. So yeah, like you're saying, sorry, I'm carrying on with your comment. Glassy, fearing sadness and looking weak is a bad thing. It's hard to see. Yeah, fearing sadness and looking weak. You're too scared to look weak. You've got to be strong. Got to be strong. But I don't think that's the best way to go, is it? It's not the best way to go. Okay, cool. Glassy, you want to be moderator? That's cool. Thank you. No pressure, by the way. And just to reiterate as well, sometimes I like, I know it sounds silly. If anyone's being rude to someone else, another person who's watching, and they're being horrible to them, absolutely just cut them out. Absolutely. No room for that on here. However, sometimes if they're being rude to me, I like to speak to them a little bit and see what they have to say. I know that might sound a bit mad. I don't mind. If they carry on, I'll just kick them out. However, I like to give them the benefit of the doubt. I like to act as a mirror sometimes as well. If someone's being rude, I like to act as a mirror, so reflect their negativity back onto them and let them deal with it, if you know what I mean. Because I think that can help with growth. I'm trying to help them in my own weird way. It might sound crazy. The INFJ, going back to that, they tend to be an advocate. They call it the advocate. The INFJ personality is known as the advocate, I think, if I remember correctly. Sorry, I can't pronounce the name, but these elites scum people to forget their DNA, which is to live forever. These games about making money. The world game adds up to 8. It's a number of money. What do you mean by that? Number 8 is 8, the number of money. In numerology, are you referring to? Please elaborate. And who's these scummed elites, these people? We're going off topic here, but it's all good. This world that we're in is a game of money, and it's capitalism. What other social constructs do we have that I know of? If you know any more, let me know. There's communism, socialism, and capitalism. And as far as I know, capitalism can be fucking cruel. Of course, there's a lot of greedy bastards. They're taking up all the assets, etc., etc. However, I think it's the best system that we know of. Correct me if I'm wrong. Because so what socialism is, for the bare bones basics of it, is basically, imagine you're a doctor, you've worked your ass off, you do 60 hours a week, and I'm a cleaner and I do 10 hours a week. Even though it took you 10 years to become a doctor and you work 60 hours a week, and I'm a cleaner and I do 10 hours a week, we're on the same money. That's the real basic socialism. So therefore, it means why should I even bother being a doctor? It's really hard work. I'll get the same money as the cleaner anyway. That's a really basic way of explaining socialism. Communism. That didn't quite work out, did it? That didn't quite work out. That's when they just take everything. God, I can't really explain communism very well. Sorry. But it didn't work out. It wasn't a good system. It wasn't fair, was it? It was fair for some and not fair for everyone else. And they'd take up, imagine I don't know, they'd just take up all your assets, basically. If you had any assets, they'd take them all under the communism kind of role that everyone should have the same. It's kind of similar to socialism to an extent. I'm probably not explaining this very well, let's be honest. It's very, very vague. However, communism tends to be not communism, capitalism is the best system that we know of. I hope they bring out a better one, a fairer one. That'd be nice, but I can't see that happening for now. I've divulged there a bit, but there we go. Glassy's saying, I'll keep that noted. Thank you for the time to join. No worries, Glassy. Nice to have you. Thank you for sharing. Thanks for sharing your wisdom and your insights. Really good. You're saying, I suggest to check GG33. Trust me. Okay, GG33. I don't know what that is. Does anyone know what GG33 is? Thank you. Good night. No worries. Good night. I can't pronounce your name. Sorry. But thank you and good night. That's that. So I suppose like labels are fun to talk about. It's interesting to talk about labels, putting people in boxes, people like you're this, you're that, whatever. But they don't. These things don't define you. They don't. Yorick is saying, I think it's a numerology calculator. I thought it was numerology when he said 8 is like a money number. I've come across that before. I think these things are interesting, though. I do, honestly, God. I think these things are interesting. Like numerology, I think there's some truth in them as well. Maybe I'm being naive, but I do think there's some truth in them. Glassy saying I'm heading off, but I've subscribed. Hope to join you again in the future. Okay, thank you, Glassy. Nice of you to join us. And enjoy your night. Enjoy your evening. I didn't know. One moment. I didn't. Thanks, Yorick. I've added in. I've done it now. I've just done it now, Glassy. If you're still there, you're probably gone now. Yeah, sorry, I wasn't thinking then, Yorick. I've done it. I'm going to ask, how is your day going? I'm just going off track here because I've run out of things to say with regards to my notes. It's a really vague question, isn't it? Sorry, but here we go. It doesn't matter. It's alive. It's all freestyle anyway. It's all good. How is your day going? Glasses, Yorick saying thanks for joining, Glassy. Hope to see you again soon. Glassy saying thank you. Catch you all again. Yeah, goodbye, Glassy. Good to have you with us. I'm going to talk about my day. Fuck it. It might be boring, but I'm going to talk about it. Anyway, I woke up in the morning and Yorick saying amazing streaming once again, bro. Oh, thanks, Yorick. I appreciate that. Thank you. I massively appreciate that. Thank you. How's my day going? I've had, honest to God, this is the highlight of my day. I've had a shit fucking day. Honest to God, I woke up in the morning, as you do. I got to work. Everything's okay. Got changed. Get ready to go. Where's my phone? Fuck, where's my phone? Couldn't find my phone. And I don't usually do that. Might be a boring story, but let's go with it anyway. Yeah, I lost my phone, basically, and I was fucking fuming. Has anyone ever lost a phone before? I am addicted to my phone, and I felt that addiction when it was gone. I don't usually forget my phone. I've always got it with me. I'm fucking addicted to it, if I'm completely honest, like many, many others. But when you've left your phone at home and you're at work, you think, oh, shit. It felt like I'd lost a leg or an arm or a limb. I was like, oh, no. I felt really bad. Anyway, long story short, this might be a boring story. Anyway, I was really pissed off. And then I was in the theatre. And there was lots of instruments needed and equipment. I didn't even know what the instruments were or the equipment was because I was new to this discipline. I was new with this. I didn't work with the surgeon very often. He wanted loads of things. I had to run around like a crazy person trying to gather all these things like screws and plates and the instruments that work with those screws and plates, yada, yada, yada. I was stressed out to fuck. And all the while thinking, shit, where's my phone? Shit, where's my phone? Have I left it in my car? Have I dropped it on the floor? Is it at home? Has someone got my phone? Has someone got my credit card? Has someone got my bank card? I was shitting myself. I was running around trying to get these things. Anyway, eventually I went home and I got my phone. All good. I'll keep talking. Anyway, so I got my phone. Felt a bit relief, but I had to run. I had to run to get changed. I had to run to my car. I had to drive home, drive back to work, run, get changed again, got my phone. And then I just cracked on with the day. I was scrubbed up for a case. It was really difficult. They were putting screws in and they weren't fitting very well. We were running out of time as well. We had another operation afterwards. A lot of staff finished at 5 o'clock. And we were going to run over, so we needed to get other people in, and it was just really stressful. It was just really stressful, and I just felt like shit at the end of it. Sorry, crap story. There you go. That's how my day was, and I was just really annoyed. I just felt really annoyed and really stressed out. There you go. Woe is me. Woe is me. Woe is me. Kind of story. Is it first world problem? Probably, if I'm honest. First world problem. That's how my day went. And then I've come home and I've eaten. And then I'm doing this live stream now. I'm doing a 6-day week this week. I'm only on the second day of 6. I don't usually do 6 days a week. I usually do 5 days a week. I usually do 45 hours a week. This week I'm doing about 54 hours. I think that's too much. But needs and must. Got to do what you got to do, man. I don't do this every week. Anyway, that's been my day. That's been my day, basically. How was everyone else's day doing, if you want to comment? Bit of a vague question, I suppose. I really enjoy doing this. This is, I say it's a hobby. I treat it like a business, though. I put a lot of time and energy into it. I do genuinely want to help people. I believe I will help. I think I already have helped people to an extent in my own way. I don't know everything. I'm not a psychologist, trained psychologist. I am not a medical doctor or anything like that. I'm just myself, obviously. But I think I can help people share perspectives, share experiences, share my mistakes, etc., etc. I'm going to be ending the live soon because Yorick said it's been good. You've had a good day. Good for you, Yorick. It's a nice sunny day as well, isn't it? I've not seen the sun. I get a bit jealous as well. I think, fuck's sake, I'm working and it's nice and sunny outside. I wish I could be outside because you don't get much sun, as you know, in England. How was the chow mein, Yorick? Chicken chow mein, nice. Chinese food can be amazing. Really tasty, man. What's your favourite type of food as well? It was mid, not amazing. Average. Oh, gutted. But you need to eat something. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to end the live because I've run out of things to say. I'll be back on Sunday. I'm going to do 10 o'clock again in the morning. I think that's a better time than 11 because I've got things to do during the day. I won't be doing that Wim Hof breathing anymore, if I'm honest, because I got a copyright on it. I don't think I've been not getting in trouble for it or anything, but it said copyrights. It's noticed that it's not my content. Obviously, it's not if I was using the Wim Hof breathing video. So I won't be doing that anymore. However, on Sunday, I'm going to be there Sunday, basically. I'll think of, I've not thought of the topic yet, but I'll think of something. I'll try and keep it interesting. If anyone's got any suggestions, just write a comment on one of the videos. And if you've got any suggestions, then I'm open to looking into those things. I might be here. I will be here on Sunday, definitely. However, Friday is a plus minus. I'm going to see how I feel, depending on my energy levels. You're saying copyright on what? That's harsh by YouTube. It's copyright on the live vlog that I did. I think it was not last week, the week before. It says copyright under the video, under the live video, because I used that Wim Hof breathing. There were no violations, by the way. There were no violations, no strikes. But it just says copyright under it, and you can't remix that video for some reason because of that. I think they take some of the profit if you ever become monetized. But I'm not even monetized anyway, so it's whatever. But I don't think I'm going to use it again. I'm just going to create my own. I like to do things myself anyway. Thanks again, by the way, Yorick. And thank you for anyone else that's watching right now. I appreciate you all. I hope you're all okay. Try and look after each other the best you can. I know life can be fucking harsh sometimes. It's not always easy. You've got to keep going. What you're saying, Yorick? I play the music game. Sorry, I play the music game. Music, I never get copyrighted. Maybe because they think I'm playing the game. Yeah. Yes, Yorick. I thought that last night for a moment, actually. It just reminded me. I thought, oh, he's not getting copyrighted for this because obviously it's the music from the game. But you didn't get copyrighted for it. I'm glad you didn't, of course, get copyrighted. But all it says is copyright under it. It says there's no violations or anything, nothing to worry about. It's the only video that's ever happened to with regards to myself. Right, guys, so they're going to summarize. So, yeah, that whole alpha, beta, omega, gamma, fucking sigma thing, I can't believe it originated from bloody wolf studies. And then the guy that did the research, he debunked it. He said it's a load of, he basically just said it doesn't make sense. It's not real. And then the internet's just taken this alpha beta thing and then used it as personality traits for men, mainly. You said, Yorick said, I did it a few times, no copyright yet. Well, hopefully you don't get any. Even if you got the same one as I did, Yorick, it's not even a bad thing, by the way. It really isn't. Like, nothing's changed. I'm not in trouble or anything. I'm not being shadow banned, as they say, or anything like that. No, that's it. I'm going to go anyway, guys. Thanks for your time, man. I'll be back on Sunday, having some more, hopefully, deep conversation, meaningful conversations. Hopefully, so 10 o'clock Sunday, I'll be there, definitely. Friday night, I'm going to try and be there for like just an open chat. Basically, I'll just go with the flow. There's no structure to it on the Friday. Just a bit of a light conversation, let's say, going with the flow on the Friday. But because I don't always want to do heavy things. Anyway, I'm over speaking now. I'm going to go. Thank you for your time. Look after each other, and goodbye. Yeah, see you on Sunday, Yorick. Goodbye.